Center in high definition. This is News Channel 8 on your side today.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News Channel 8 Today. I'm Rod Carter.
I'm Gail Guayardo. Thank you so much for joining us. We are following breaking news in the Amanda Knox case. Adrienne Pedersen has details.
Hey, Gail, less than an hour ago, Italy's top court overturned the acquittal of American student Amanda Knox and ordered a retrial. I just read a statement from Knox. She says it's painful to have her acquittal on murder charges overturned, but she's confident the truth will come out eventually. The court ruled that an appeals court in Florence must rehear the case against the American and her Italian ex-boyfriend for the murder of 21-year-old Meredith Kircher. Knox spent 4 years in prison before an appellate court overturned her murder conviction. I just learned, according to CNN, Knox might not have to go back to Italy to appear at that retrial. Again, Italy's top court overturned the acquittal of that American student Amanda Knox on murder charges and ordered a retrial. I'm following the story. I'll let you guys know when I have something new.
All right, thanks. Now let's get the chilly forecast this morning from Storm Team 8 meteorologist Lee Spann.
And you know, really will feel much more winter-like today than it did pretty much all winter long. Temperatures are dropping as we speak. Right now we're down to 51 degrees in Tampa. We're down to 43 in Crystal River, 51 in Brandon. We're right now at 52 in Bartow with strong winds from the north, anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour, so it feels even colder. And that means we just won't warm up much. 56 degrees at midday when you're out for lunch, so you'll still need a jacket. Afternoon highs in the low 60s, so you know that means it's going to get chilly this evening, down to 55. Overnight temperatures around 45, but I'll tell you who could see freezing temperatures tonight coming up. Now let's check on the roadway. Leslie?
Thank you, Lee. Good morning, everyone. Here's what's happening in Tampa. I-4 looks very good. No delays. 275 Fletcher to I-4. 6-minute commute. Now, out in the Northdale area, we do have a collision. This is located on Northdale, just east of Dawnview, so I want you to be aware of that. And if you are out and about this evening, heads up right around the Forum. You might see some extra traffic. About an hour before and after the Lightning take on the Sabres, and also with this evening, the Astros and the Yankees at Steinbrenner Field. That's a look at the roadways. Now back to news.
Now to a big story that is happening today. Just hours from now, arguments begin in the U.S. Supreme Court over California's gay marriage ban. It was first approved by California voters in 2008, and then a federal judge decided later, declared that Proposition 8 was unconstitutional. That ruling was upheld by a court of appeals, and today, Prop 8, the case has the potential to be truly monumental. The court has the opportunity to rule on the fundamental issue of whether same-sex couples have a constitutionally protected right to get married. This morning, Tracy Potts begins our team coverage from outside the U.S. Supreme Court.
Dozens are camped out this morning waiting to be part of history.
It's okay to disagree with us and about issues, but we still need to be recognized and part of the fabric of this country.
Experts say it'll be hard for the court to ignore a huge shift in public opinion. 20 years ago, most of the country opposed same-sex marriage.
The fact that the majority of Americans support marriage for gay and lesbian couples is definitely going to be something that will be in the back of the justices' minds.
2 California couples are challenging the state's 2008 voter-approved ban. Opponents say it violates the 14th Amendment.
And we want to feel the same sense of security that other married couples want to have. We think it's worth fighting for.
Supporters argue traditional marriage must be protected.
The institution of marriage and marriage laws are designed to attach mothers and fathers to each other and to the children that they may create and raise in the best environment.
9 states plus Washington, D.C. allow same-sex marriage. 38 states don't. President Obama's changed his mind, and so have some Republicans.
If you believe that the government shouldn't be involved in personal lives, which most Republicans, and conservatives do, then I don't see how it's contradictory.
We're here for them to get married.
Last night's vigil, just the beginning of 2 days of arguments that will determine how America defines marriage and for whom.
What happens here at the court could also affect what happens across the street at the Capitol. Some Republican insiders already saying that if the party embraces marriage equality, it could open up donations 2 years from now in big states like New York and California. From the U.S. Supreme Court, I'm Tracy Potts, News Channel 8 Today.
Our team coverage of the gay marriage argument continues this morning. These cases could have implications right here in Florida. And today, the fight for equal rights comes to Tampa. News Channel 8's Melissa Beckman is live at the federal courthouse where a vigil will be held later today. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Gail. A group called Light the Way to Justice is holding rallies and vigils all across the country. And tonight, they'll bring their movement here to downtown Tampa. Organizers are hoping plenty of people come out and gather here on the steps of the federal courthouse to support their message of marriage equality for everyone. Dozens of people rallied in Tallahassee Monday, but not everyone was there to support gay marriage. As the Supreme Court gets ready to listen to two cases this week, polls show public support for marriage equality is at an all-time high. One of the two controversial cases challenges California's ban on gay marriage. And if the U.S. Supreme Court rules against that ban, that could make Florida's own ban unconstitutional. Now, tonight's vigil starts here at the federal courthouse at 7:30. Organizers say that people here participating will hold lights in unison and listen to speakers, and they hope that people across the nation can hear their message. And coming up at 6:30, we'll hear from some of the protesters on both sides of this controversy. Gail?
All right, Melissa, thank you. We'll look for that update in our next half hour.
Now to the latest in a developing story this morning. It's a case that's making national headlines. A toddler shot and killed allegedly by two Georgia teenagers who are now facing first-degree murder charges. The grandmother of a 15-year-old accused in that shooting says he is not responsible.
He's a baby, but he's not a baby killer. So they need to get that straight. He's not a baby killer.
Police have not discussed the relationship of those two teenagers, but investigators believe they shot and killed 1-year-old Antonio Santiago and then shot his mother while they were going for a walk last week. Earlier last week, 17-year-old DeMarcus Elkins' aunt says he was with her when the crime occurred. Bond has not been set for either of those teenagers. Today, the investigation into a deadly skydiving accident in Pasco County is focusing on helmet camera video. An instructor and student from Iceland died during a jump Saturday morning. A co-owner of Skydive City says neither of them pulled their main parachutes. Now, their reserve chutes did open, but for some reason did not save their lives.
Now to a story that is all new this morning. U.S. troops in Afghanistan are packing up their equipment to come home. U.S. personnel, along with contractors, began taking apart military vehicles in Bagram Air Base yesterday. The job's a huge logistical challenge because of all the equipment that has accrued there in 10 years of war. U.S. combat troops will withdraw from Afghanistan by 2014. Speaking of Afghanistan, Secretary of State John Kerry is there today. A few hours ago, he showed off his soccer skills during a visit with female entrepreneurs in Kabul participating in a U.S.-backed program. Some of the women expressed concerns that their rights would be deteriorating after the U.S. troops leave the country.
A potential winner of the $338 million Powerball jackpot has come forward. Meet my cousin Pedro Quezada. Just kidding. He's a 44-year-old store owner. Yesterday, he went to the New Jersey liquor store where he bought that ticket. The store validated the ticket, was indeed the winner. He's an immigrant from the Dominican Republic, and he told reporters in Spanish that he was very, very happy and intends to help his family. Saturday's jackpot, by the way, was the 4th largest in Powerball history. He's probably going to hear a lot, though. He's got relatives just coming from everywhere.
I would not doubt that. How exciting for him, though,
yeah,
right?
That really is cool. It's 6:08. This morning, a health product giant says there's a problem with a blood glucose meter.
Coming up, details about an important recall that could impact you or the health of someone you know. Then,
the earlier you find out, the earlier you start eating right, exercising.
How you can take a 1-minute test to know if you're at risk for diabetes. Plus a special event to raise money for diabetes. That story is coming up at 6:15. And still ahead in this half hour, Usher talks about his new gig on The Voice and what it will be like mentoring young singers. Grab a jacket this morning. We checked in with Dora in Inverness. She's already at 45 degrees right now. And you know what? We're not warming up much. A high today of only 61, well below the average of 78. And it's just a slow warming trend this week. 65 tomorrow, 70 Thursday, 73 on Friday. But I'll tell you when we finally get back to 78, our average coming up at 6:09. And you're watching News Channel 8 today.